Hi guys, and happy quarantine. This is Petty Peggy, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make my very special brand of lemonade. Well, not very special, it's just lemonade from lemons I got from the garden. So they're grown by us, organic lemons. I really wanted this to be the video where I make Beyonce's lemonade, but even though it was really good, it was really sweet and full of sugar. So I made a modified version of it that I think is safer to consume. All right, let's get into it. All right, so to start with, you need a jar for your lemonade, of course. I used 8 medium-sized lemons from the gardens, and I also sliced up 1 lemon for garnish at the end. You need water. Feel free to use filtered or tap water. We drink bottled water here, so that's what I have. My sugar. Hold on, let me get my sugar. And of course, you do need sugar. Now, I tried very hard to find a substitute for sugar, and none of it works. Beyonce's recipe actually calls for half a pound of sugar for a little over a pint of lemonade. And that's just a lot of sugar. So here we're starting with a gallon-sized jar. And we're starting with a cup and a little less than a cup and a half of sugar, which is still half a pound of sugar. But it is going into a gallon instead of a pint. It is the white super processed sugar. It just, the thing I'm finding with the lemons from the gardens is that they're more lemony, they're more citrusy, more tart. So there really wasn't a substitute. Like, I tried the Splenda and then I tried honey. There really wasn't anything that was balancing out the tartness of the lemons. So we're gonna go with plain old white sugar. So the first thing we're gonna do, but the reason why, before I move forward, we're using a lot less sugar per volume because the lemons were roasted. I did roast these in the oven. So there's a natural sweetness that's gonna help balance out, and so we won't need as much sugar. Hopefully that is what happens. And therefore, I feel like this is still a healthier recipe. Not that Beyonce's recipe was not popping. It was great, like live your best life, but it was also diabetes in a cup. So I'm trying to be here for a good time and a long time. You know how that is. I'm glad the jar was closed. I didn't even make sure the jar was closed at the bottom. Make sure your jar is closed at the bottom. You wouldn't want your water spilling out. And I'm actually going to fill it. This is also a gallon. So technically this whole thing could go in there, but we do want to leave room for lemon juice and sugar and everything else. And then if you want to add fruit, if you want to add tea bags, if you want to add flavorings to it, you of course want to leave room to that. I think this recipe kind of lends itself well to having other flavors come in and sort of star in it. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our first lemon. Oh, another trick is I cut the bottom so that they can stand upright on the baking sheet in the oven. And it really helped the fact that the juices just rose up. So I know you may have like a juicer or something that you use to squeeze the juice out of something. Honestly, you don't even need it. If you can see, the lemon juice is already dripping without me even squeezing anything into it. It is that good. And I'm going to go ahead and let the pulp go in there as well because the recipe calls for lemon zest. But I find that if you're okay with it and if you're using something that has like a nozzle that pulp can't get through, it is okay to just scrape some of that pulp in there and get all that extra sweet lemony flavor. I'm not going to go as far as scraping out the inside and putting it in there, but if you want to, go ahead. I mean, lemons are delicious. They're great. As you can see, I'm also letting the seeds just kind of fall in there. This is because I'm using the nozzle, and then again, they won't get through to the actual cup of lemonade. So So we're just going to squeeze these in here one by one. I cut them in half, so I think 8. I might have used 6 lemons. I don't know. Let's see. I'm pretty sure there should be 16 halves in here. 16 little halves. And again, I'm just sort of letting whatever falls out, scraping off the pulp into it, really letting this lemon get into this lemonade, like get into it. Yes. This recipe I'm using is like bits and pieces from different recipes I found. I was looking for something that was very much organic and very much like ingredients I could use, very simple, but I was also looking for something that had like a twist on it, which is where roasting the lemons actually came from. That idea to do that was from that. And I think it really does make a big difference. And not even in just the taste, but just in how easy it is to prepare what you're preparing. Again, I'm putting in the lemon pulp in substitute of the garnish. Of the lemon peel, lemon zest. And it is looking quite lemonade-y, if I say so myself. It's a very light lemonade. It'll get darker as more lemons go into it, but I think this is a good start. Also leaving room for ice, which I actually don't have. I forgot to get ice. So this will just go into the fridge for a while, which will be fine. But, you know, you may want yours instantly. You may want to enjoy your sweet treat right then and there, and why wouldn't you? So just make sure you have ice on hand. But yeah, you want to leave room at the top. I used about half my gallon, or a little more than half my gallons, about 3/4 of my gallon into my jar. So, you know, eyeball it, do what speaks to you, live your life. Okay. So then I got my pulp in there. I got my seeds, giving it all the flavor. I'm just adding extra pulp. The next thing I'm going to do after I'm done with all that is I'm going to add my sugar. And just dump the whole bowl in there like that. Okay, then I'm going to give this a stir. Make sure none of that sugar settles on the bottom. And again, this lemonade I found has a really big punch because the lemons are actually grown. We didn't use any pesticides or anything like that. Another reason why I roasted them, just to make sure there wasn't any parasites or anything in them, heating them up, killing everything in them. And they just are so, like the whole kitchen right now just smells like lemon, and it's so great, so awesome. And then I'm just gonna plop in these lemon slices for pretty much decoration. I'm not gonna lie, I'm putting a little Martha Stewarty here. It's very pretty. But yeah, that's how you make organic lemonade with less sugar, I would say. I'm just gonna pour myself a glass and make sure what I already know is true, that it's delicious even though it's warm. So as you can see, some of the pulp came through, but like none of the seeds, none of that, none of the seeds, none of the stuff that you wouldn't be able to drink is actually in the lemonade. So bottoms up. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is thirst quenching. Not as sweet as you normally get from the store, what you're used to at the market, but Honestly, super duper delicious. The pulp and the lemons really come through. It's not overwhelmed by by the sugar. What I'm going to do actually um, is I'm gonna slice up a cucumber and throw that in here, so it can be cucumber lemonade because I love the taste of cucumber and lemonade put together. It's what I normally put in my lemonade. Feel free. I think this would really go good with some. If you have some specialty spice tea, maybe if you have some peach tea, or if you have some other fruit teas, you can throw those in here. Let those brew in the lemonade, and then give it that flavor. I'm probably gonna do that in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna come through with another video pretty soon, probably next week, on my terrariums that I'm making. Hope everybody is safe and healthy in this quarantine, and Petty Peggy is out.